Hey there. Do you ever find it hard to get out in the shop and get working at the end of the day? Or are you self-employed and find it hard to get out of bed every morning and get to work? Hey, I'm Dan Hartman, and I know I face both those things, and I'm going to share with you my 5 top tips, because these are things I'm still trying to drive home and learn myself. But I think the more share those things and really start a conversation, the better we all can do together. So, number one thing, and this is one thing I'm really coming back to, is starting with the end goal in mind. Where when I sat at the shop, I was going day and night working on getting all the electrical set up, putting machines together, moving things around, getting this place painted, making it look beautiful. And at that point, the end goal was I had this idea. I'd set this place up. People would see it as this blank canvas where they could come in and bring their passion projects. Because I didn't have anything on my list that I was thinking, yeah, this is really something I want to build that's also got a ready market. So there's a lot of pieces that I feel like, if there's such a thing as finders, grinders, and minders, I feel like I'm a really good minder in terms of setting the shop up, finding ways to build things in a really creative way. But as far as doing frontline sales, it doesn't really feel like my thing. As far as standing at a machine day after day assembling something, I mean, there's lots of people out there who just want nothing more than to have someone just tell them what to do and just leave their mind at the door and get hammering rocks. But I'm somewhere in the middle between those two things. So bringing it all the way back is starting with the end goal in mind. Now, I've really got to look for a new project, because the whole philosophy of starting a shop and having people come in that wanted to partner on different things and would have different strengths, that has just not happened. And maybe it's because I'm not the best sales guy to go and get that marketed and do that part. And I know I went and stretched my edges as far as having a really good radio interview and being in the newspaper and inviting all the local politicians and handing out handbills in town. That took a lot of energy for me, so I feel like I'm still in recovery mode from putting myself out there, trying to do something that was outside of my comfort zone. It's like asking out a really interesting girl on a date, when I used to ask, because I got smart enough not to ask dates, but just to really like people on the level of friends, and friendships evolve into dating. So on that same level, what kind of things do I do as far as meeting people? Point 2, how to meet the people that help nurture the vision at this point. So instead of going and asking people to be my business partner, creating a whole bunch of friendships that people that are in the realm of who I enjoy being around, who are creative, who are able to provide a lot of empathy, and there's a word for it, emotional availability. Not in a machine shop video. Anyhow, things like that are really tops on my list as far as who I'd want for a business partner. And that's one of the things I'm going to do a video on, upcoming business partner video. So looking at how often it's the people that really make this place so important, which I'm still getting to build that team. Who are the people on my team? Who are the key players? So that's when I'm slumpy. First thing, big picture vision. Second thing, the people. Definitely all about the people that come into the vision, make it everything it can be. So my next one, as far as getting up to the shop, having a really great environment. So having this place bright and painted and nice and clear, a place for everything because when there's not a good spot for putting things away, it's just like static and trying to see a picture. It's kind of like if you get a scrambled cable signal on TV, or your internet pages are really slow to load. It's just stuff like that would just drive me crazy. I'd just say, I'm just not going to bother. So it's walking into a space that's disorganized. It's a great invitation for that. roommate of ours to say, hey, let's not even bother, let's not go there. So, clean, organized space, that's definitely number 3 as far as, and heat, and in this place, also having a washroom to be able to have other people and not have to worry about walking through the house, just to be here and for it to feel like a second home. An electric kettle, that's also another big thing for me as far as wintertime. I like having some herbal tea and just really enjoying myself. So, the right people, getting organized. Oh, another thing for inspiration, definitely YouTube videos. That's a huge one for me as far as seeing other people on their journeys and what they're doing and what works for them. Huge boost in terms of when things feel like they're not possible. One of the best things we can do is come up with a new idea, a new feeling that allows us a feeling of relief. So even when I don't really like my current reality of being here, it's better, instead of having to feel like, oh, I gotta hold on to this stuff and do this thing. Having a day job would be low on my list, but maybe somewhere in between having the shop and making it work out and getting a day job would be finding a way of selling a bunch of things here that no longer serve, working on a plan that makes it viable in the long term, and way more organized. So instead of maintaining old machines that are past their prime, that might be the perfect thing for someone else who's not using stuff as much, or maybe doesn't have the same standard. It's just something that's getting made that's really quick and dirty that doesn't matter. Some of the machines here could be a really good fit when, for this environment, they're no longer a really workable, viable solution. So, YouTube videos for inspiration, huge thing. Finding an idea that provides a feeling of relief from our current surroundings, current reality, also a huge thing. Lots of levity, lots of feeling of possibility. Oh, one thing to bring people in. I know for me, sharing what I'm passionate about, it doesn't always bring in people, but it's one of those things. It's like meeting new people or dating. Over time, we've got to go through those discomfort, throwing ideas about things we're really passionate about, only to have people turn on their heels and walk the other way. That's going to happen. But doing a lot, and even if we're not so concise about our exact thing, there's been people that, knowing that I had this machine shop business that wasn't going, and before I had any machines here, there were people like, hey, I just like to sit down and talk. I'm so curious. I've never been good with my hands. And that's an example of one of a really great mentor, and someone who's also offered to help provide a board of advisors for the long term. Craig, he's been a really cool guy as far as has all these accounting skills and business skills and emotional distance to be able to see a lot of the things that I'm challenged by, that I'm just so immersed in that I don't even see them. So definitely having some mentorship and support in that way. Also a huge catalyst. Just keep going. I think that's a pretty well-rounded list. Hopefully that's 5. Hopefully you're writing them down, because I did not keep a good track. But this is a good solid video. Lots of great insight. Put your thoughts and comments and subscribe and like. And someday when I'm a YouTube celebrity, this will be one of those videos you can say, I knew that guy back when. So, in the meantime, if someone's watching this, maybe your family, maybe your friend, please just give some motivation just to keep going, because this video series is going to grow. We're going to do some really cool stuff. We're going to share our journey together, because a lot of people I know are back in Ontario. I'm here in New Brunswick. Who knows where the next stop is? And other last thought. So Originally, this thing started out, well, years ago, started out a small jobbing shop. It originally carried, my last name, Hartman Equipment Inc. Then here I don't really want to be central. I want to have this vision that can nurture and hold other people that have the same passion, the same interest, same inclinations that I have as far as an eye for quality, building things that are meant to last, doing things with a vision towards the future. And that's really where, after tossing around a lot of ideas, the name Community Machinery was born. There was this handshake logo with this hand and this gear, and the outline of it just happened to be a heart shape, which was really, being Hartman, being a really sensitive guy who spends a lot of his time thinking about how to really connect with people on a deeper level. It seemed like a match made in heaven. But there was a time where I just realized, there'd be people that come in and kick ideas around. There's some people who came in that would really be such a great part of a team, but just no idea how to fit things together. I hadn't put myself out that enough to really form a shop night. I never found a way to have really good insurance so people could just come in and do things outside of if someone had a job here and was covered under our workers' compensation through WorkSafe New Brunswick. So there's just this huge gap of where my interests were, what was feasible, and didn't want to start coming across like some kind of social support, like, oh, that's where the people who can't really get a real job go. No, want to be a fully legit enterprise that has a lot of viability. So the pieces weren't coming together. For someone else, it could totally work. Lots of brilliant ideas. Realizing, especially for myself, where I was when I was 17, 19, 22, 24, 26, even today, I wish there was just a community of people just reaching out and giving me a pat on the shoulder and being like, oh man, hey, let's, that project we're working on, let's get back to it, or what's the thing that's really eating at you, just wanting to know me on a deeper level. That's something I still really desire. And that's the kind of work environment I want to be in, to feel really supported. It's the kind of work environment I want to provide for others in the future. So that part's not going away, but part of it is, I don't know if I want to say the communication or the marketing. It's the perception. Somehow the perception was, because it's community machinery, it's like people can come in, it's a free-for-all. And then there was the flip side where I felt like anytime I did a job, I wasn't able to perform and provide the scope, the timeline, and the price point that was really going to work. So at this point, it's really looking at what's a product design that's really going to work, what are the optimum machines that are going to work, creating a really good cash flow that can see what's our current, if we just stay in a holding pattern right now, how much is that really costing, and how much would it really cost to go and buy a bunch of brand new machinery that's the exact right thing for some of the things we'd likely look at doing in the future, way more predictable, just no headaches, no fuss, and have way more of a team in terms of, if I have all these used machines, am I really going to be connected to a team of sales representatives, service people, and the latest and greatest technology? Not so much. It's just, these machines have a purpose, they have a place, but I don't know if that's what fits for me anymore. So a big part of it is like this grieving and letting go, and having a transformation into some different form, and having it so open-ended and loose is, it's a vulnerable, scary place to go into. So that's where I'm so grateful to have family and friends and the next really supportive stranger that comes in my life that will form some kind of long-term bond. So that's really cool. That's what's going on for now. Looking forward to whatever's next. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow things start rolling in the door that with letting go of this idea of what things are supposed to be, it's like the darkest moment is just before the dawn. So perhaps just letting go, there's also an opening up. And yeah, I don't feel the need to hold on as much as I was. There's little moments where there's that pivoting back and forth. But on that note, I'm going to wish you all the best. Hopefully things are on a good uphill where you're enjoying things. And please comment, please subscribe, please like, and thanks for all the support. And yeah, comment things that you'd be interested in hearing more about or looking at, and thoughts on the business partner video would be really cool. So yeah. Have a great day.